साबिक सदर डोनाल्ड ट्रंप तीसरी बार सदर का इंतखाब लड़ने के लिए अपनी मुहिम का ऐलान कर चुके हैं, लेकिन इस बार उन्हें बाज़ मुश्किलात का सामना है। मंगल को अमरीकी सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 3 साल की कानूनी लड़ाई के बाद साबिक सदर डोनाल्ड ट्रंप के टैक्स गोशवारों को कांग्रेस की कमेटी के हवाले करने का रास्ता साफ कर दिया। अदालत ने बगैर किसी इख्तलाफ के ट्रंप की दरख्वास्त को एक ऐसे हुक्म के लिए मुस्तरद कर दिया जो महकमा ख़जाना को ट्रंप और उनके कुछ कारोबारों को 6 साल के टैक्स गोशवारों को डेमोक्रेट्स के ज़ेरे कंट्रोल हाउस वेज़ एंड मीन्स कमेटी को देने से रोकता है। आला तरीन अदालत का ये हुक्म और दीगर अदालतों में चलने वाले मुकदमात इस तरफ इशारा करते हैं कि साबिक सदर को 2024 के इंतखाबात से पहले कानूनी मुश्किलात का सामना है। सदर ट्रंप अपने खिलाफ इन तमाम कार्रवाइयों को सियासी मुखालफिन की चालें करार देते हैं। दूसरी तरफ वस्त मुद्दती इंतखाबात में रिपब्लिकन पार्टी की कारकर्दगी जो कि इतनी कामयाब नहीं रही जितनी कि पार्टी को तवक्को थी, बाज़ पार्टी लीडर्स इसकी जिम्मेदारी भी साबिक सदर डोनाल्ड ट्रंप पर डाल रहे हैं। इसी बारे में मज़ीद बात करते हैं शिकागो काउंसिल ऑन ग्लोबल अफेयर्स के डैनियल ड्रेजनर से, जो स्काइप के ज़रिए हमारे साथ शामिल हो रहे हैं। डैनियल, द सुप्रीम कोर्ट क्लियर्ड द वे फॉर इमिनेंट हैंड ओवर ऑफ ट्रंप टैक्स रिटर्न्स फ्रॉम पास्ट 6 years to House Ways and Means Committee. Trump accused the court of becoming nothing more than a political body. There is also Justice Department criminal investigation against Trump on the handling of classified material for which the Attorney General has appointed a special counsel. Going forward, what kind of challenges could all of this create for candidate Trump?
Well, it's sort of a paradox because, on the one hand, the fact that Trump is no longer president has sort of stripped him of his best legal defense that he'd had, at least when he was actually in office. And one of the consistent through lines of all the court rulings, whether you're talking about the documents case, his role in January 6th, or his tax returns, is that because he is no longer president, he is not subject to any particular extra special protection. So he's going to have to deal with all of these court cases, not to mention the state court cases in both New York and in Georgia. So legally, he's in some serious trouble. The paradox of this, though, is that in some ways, Trump, whenever he's in legal trouble, can use that as a sort of mechanism to mobilize his base. Indeed, his fundraising actually spiked in August after the FBI conducted its search of Mar-a-Lago for those missing classified documents. And I think this is one of the reasons why he declared his candidacy for 2024 so early, because he feels that if he's being legally persecuted, or if he can frame it as he's being under legal persecution, that will enable him to mobilize his base. It will enable him to do well in the Republican primaries in 2024 and in theory win the presidency again.
Right. डैनियल बता रहे हैं कि चूँकि अब सदर ट्रंप साबिक सदर हैं, उनको वो इम्यूनिटी हासिल नहीं है जो पहले उन्हें हासिल हुआ करती थी इन तमाम लीगल कार्रवाइयों के अगेंस्ट। और साथ ही वो ये भी कह रहे हैं कि ट्रंप ने इस मौके को एक अच्छा मौका जानकर अपनी कैंडिडेसी भी इसीलिए अनाउंस की कि उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाइयाँ की जा रही थीं और इससे उनको पहले भी फ़ायदा हुआ है और अब भी फ़ायदा हो रहा है। उनके वोटर्स बहुत ज़्यादा मोबिलाइज हो जाते हैं, ऐसे मौक़ों पर उनकी फंडिंग में इजाफा हो जाता है, तो ट्रंप इसको इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं 2024 की बिड के लिए। डैनियल, ट्रंप्स वीपी माइक पेंस's book in which he talks about the pressure Trump put on him to not to certify the results of 2020 elections. Although Trump's supporters believe in this conspiracy that the election results were altered to defeat Trump in 2020, but could the details provided by his running mate in this book bring down Trump's popularity among his supporters and Republican voters?
I mean, it's possible, and it should be noted that Mike Pence is hardly the only Trump administration high-ranking figure to do this. The former Attorney General, William Barr, just had an op-ed in the New York Post essentially also arguing that the 2020 election was freely and fairly conducted. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has made similar comments. There's a whole panoply of former Trump administration officials who have come out against Trump. Whether this actually affects his base, somewhat, I think, is the answer. The paradox that the GOP faces at this point is that if you take a look at the polling data, it shows two consistent facts. The first is that pretty sizable majority of the country has had enough of Donald Trump. It's about 60-40. About 60% of the country basically does not want to have anything to do with Donald Trump going forward. And to some extent, we saw that in the midterm elections that just happened. The paradox, though, is that if you poll just Republicans, an overwhelming majority of them indicate still pretty solid support for Trump, which means that you would expect him to do reasonably well in the presidential primary in 2024. You have to look at him as the front runner. And so I think if it was up to Republicans, they would love to move beyond Trump. The problem is that a lot of voters aren't necessarily willing to take that step. And these sorts of revelations from Pence and from the January 6th Commission and so on and so forth, I think what they're doing is they're eroding Trump support just at the margins. It's not causing a sizable block to defect from Trump, but you're talking about 1 or 2 or 3 percentage points that sort of recognize, okay, I was really in favor of this guy right up until Mike Pence said otherwise.
Right.
And that's enough if you take a look at how close the elections have been recently. You're
Right.
talking about margins of 1 or 2%.
राइट तो डैनियल कह रहे हैं कि वीपी पेंस वो वाहिद आदमी नहीं हैं ट्रंप इंतज़ाम साबिक ट्रंप इंतज़ामिया से। इससे पहले उनके अटॉर्नी जनरल और उनके फॉरेन मिनिस्टर यानी सेक्रेटरी ऑफ स्टेट भी ये कह चुके हैं कि 2020 के इलेक्शंस बिल्कुल लेजिटिमेट थे और लीगल थे। इसके साथ ही रिपब्लिकन वोटर्स में तो ट्रंप की जो शोहरत है वो अभी भी बहुत ज़्यादा है, लेकिन ओवरऑल अमेरिका में अगर पूरे मुल्क में देखा जाए तो अब ज़्यादातर लोग ख़ुद को उनसे डिस्टेंस कर चुके हैं, वो उनके बारे में बात नहीं करना चाहते। लेकिन डैनियल का ये कहना है कि ट्रंप की पॉपुलैरिटी रिपब्लिकन पार्टी के अंदर अभी भी उस लेवल पे है कि रिपब्लिकन पार्टी के अंदर अगर प्राइमरी होती है तो ट्रंप एक मजबूत उम्मीदवार उस प्राइमरी के लिए होंगे। डैनियल, लास्ट क्वेश्चन, आफ्टर द डिसअपॉइंटिंग परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ ट्रंप backed candidates in 2022 midterm elections, his daughter and son-in-law parting ways with his campaign, some other senior campaign staff. Will Trump's influence in the party be the same as before, and how will donors view it?
There is no denying that donors are not thrilled with Trump's continued prominence. I mean, I think we saw 2 or 3 very prominent donors over the last couple of weeks indicate that they don't want to back Trump. And yes, the performance in 2022, whatever Republicans feel about Donald Trump, what they really like more than anything else is winning. And Donald Trump is no longer associated with winning. I would think it's safe to say that Republicans are becoming sick and tired of all the losing. The problem, though, is that in some ways, I think there are many Republicans that are concerned that 2024 is going to be a replay of what happened in 2016. It's worth remembering in 2016 that Donald Trump didn't get a ton of primary voters. He got about a third to 40%, but that was enough because there were 16 other candidates that entered the primary, and they wound up attacking each other much more than they attacked Donald Trump. And just recently, there's evidence that there are a lot of Republicans who are no longer deterred by Donald Trump to enter the 2024 primary, but it's not clear whether party leaders and party financial backers are going to reach a consensus about one particular challenger to Trump, whether it's Ron DeSantis or Mike Pompeo or Mike Pence or Nikki Haley. If there's multiple candidates challenging Trump, my hunch is that Trump still wins the primary in 2024.
What happens if Ron DeSantis announces his candidacy? We've seen surveys that his popularity graph is growing. Do you think Ron DeSantis could be a strong challenger to former President Trump?
He could be. There is no denying he did extremely well in the 2022 midterms, as well as the Republican Party in Florida more generally. And in some ways, that's his strongest selling point. He seems to combine Trump's pugnacity with actually some sort of knowledge of how government works. That said, really, in some ways, the big question is whether or not fealty to Trump among Republican voters is based as much on his personality as it is anything else. Ron DeSantis is a lot of things. Charismatic is not one of them. And so the real question to ask is, so far, no Republican in a head-to-head battle with Donald Trump has survived.
Right.
They've all been humiliated in one way or another.
Right.
The question is whether DeSantis is different or not, and we're not going to really know that unless he jumps into the race, and it's not clear he's going to jump into the race.
Correct. Yeah, and we're going to see what happens in the coming days and months and weeks. Thank you so much for being with us this morning, Daniel. We appreciate it.